Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this edition of Yorkville Sports. You're in the nest, the Eagle's Nest, and I'm your host, Joe Patrick. Amidst all the controversy behind the sports today and all the football players and basketball players and baseball players running amok, it's so wonderful that we have these young kids to talk about. Youth sports is alive and kicking, and we're going to talk more about that when we return to the Eagle's Nest.
Got a salad over here?
Dang, by the way. Where's that from?
From our salad place.
Are we rolling?
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this edition of Yorkville Sports. This is The Nest, and I have the 9U South coaches, Nick Hazenberg and Clark right here. You know, these guys are friends to the family. Clark is my co-host, you know, and the question for today, amidst all of the controversial issues going on in sports right now with the National Football League, baseball players, basketball players, with all this abuse, how refreshing is it to have youth sports?
Oh, you gotta have it. If we only have NFL, it gets a little chaotic. We like to keep it nice and easy for the most part, unless you're playing Throgs and that gets a little heated out there.
Okay.
But yeah, gotta have your youth sports. It's the best.
Yeah. Well, Nick, you know, how was it like growing up with youth sports in your community? I know you're from the inner city, and what was it like working with the coaches? They didn't abuse guys back then. It was all about teaching the guys how to play the game, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, everything I've learned and taught to our kids on our team, I learned from youth sports. And I wouldn't be here today without youth sports in my life as a young kid.
All right. Well, now, what is it like coaching, being that role model now? You know, so much talk is with these players, you know, these high-priced players, you know, they're role models. But sometimes maybe we shouldn't be looking to them as being role models. Maybe it's guys like you, guys like the parents that bring the kids in here. You know, so what is it like being looked at as a role model with these young kids?
Man, it's a big part of my life. I love to look at these guys. They're like my little brothers. Gotten close with a few of them. Actually, the whole team, and we just get along real well. And as a coach and somewhat of a teacher, you want to just have an impact on these guys' lives. And you know, that's really the main reason why you choose a profession like this. You know, you don't fall into it for no reason. You do it to have an impact on people.
That's great. Well, now, Nick, I know this is I don't know if it's holiday weekend, but we're going into a tournament. I mean, it's early in the season for us to be playing and having tournament play. So what are your expectations for this weekend?
Yeah.
We're going out to Thraw's neck. You know, we don't want to get our neck caught, you know. So what do you think?
I think it's definitely going to be a challenge. I mean, we've only played 3 games, maybe 4, and you know, varied results. And, you know, some lapses in judgment and with the right play during the game, so kids still have something to work on, but hopefully come tournament time they bear down and make the right plays. And I'm pretty confident in our team, and I think that they know what to do, and I think they're excited for the tournament, and they're going to play hard.
Yeah, we've been a little rusty so far this year, which we're not used to. Coming off the summer, a lot of kids were playing ball, but we had some other guys that were kind of lounging beachside, and don't blame them for it. But you know, they come into the season rusty, so you can't just knock that off in 1 week. It takes several weeks to get back into baseball shape and in the groove of seeing live pitching and whatnot. So, we've had about 3 weeks so far, 4 games. So, we're not 100% fully prepared, but I think we're going to be fine.
Okay, you opened up the season 1-1. You went last week. You played a 9-inning game, and it was a tie. You played to a 12-12 tie. That's a lot of runs scored by the other team. Going into the Throsneck tournament, these guys tournament play. They come out to play. The teams come out to play. They're not going to give you any mercy. They're not going to give you any leeway. We're going to have to go out there and take it if we plan on winning.
Definitely. That game was interesting. We'd never played a 9-inning game before, and the score was actually 10-0 at one point, and we came back to tie it to 12-12. So I was proud of the guys for that. We looked sloppy on our cuts. Our pitching wasn't completely there, but after a while, the boys came back and rallied, and that's really what it was all about. So to come out of there with at least a tie and not go down with a loss and fall below 500 was very key for the momentum of our season, especially going into this tournament here.
Okay. Nick, how many games are we playing this weekend?
This weekend, it's going to be like 2 tomorrow, and then 1 for sure on Sunday. If we win that game, we'll play another 2 on Sunday.
Okay, so you're possibly going to play 5 games if you go all the way through.
Yeah.
Do you have who's going to start for you the first 2 games? You're pitching.
I think for the first game, probably put Sam on the bump, and then probably game 2, Theo.
Okay, and if we should make it to a 3rd game, Clark, what do you have up your sleeve? I know you're always trying to stir the pot with something.
Yeah, man.
What do you have up your sleeve?
We'll make it happen. As long as we're getting into that third game in the higher bracket. Our guys will be ready to play even if they're not used to pitching. We're going to put somebody out there that'll throw strikes and allow us to get some hits for our side, and hopefully our defense, which we rely heavily on, will shut them down. So, we'll put somebody out there that's throwing strikes, and we'll get the job done as we usually seem to do.
All right. Well, anyway, you heard it from the coaches of the 9U South team. These guys, they were almost undefeated last year. They went into tournament play at the end. They didn't get it done, but this is a new year. Started off the season 1-1, a 9-inning tie last week, and we're going to talk about that when we run down the scores. But our 9U South team, they're in good hands with Nick and Clark over here. And when we come back, we're going to give you all the rundowns with all the scores from last week, and we're going to talk about this week's tournament. We're going to get it all set up. The tournament play, and next week we'll tell you what the results were. So, I'm Joe Patrick, and these are the guys, and we'll be right back.
Hopefully we'll come back with the ship. We'll see.
The ship, the ship. The ship, all right.
There we go.
All right.
This is Yorkville.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. And we're getting ready to give you the scores for last week, week 2. We're getting ready to go into week 3, which is tournament week, but we're always a week behind. So we're going to give you the scores from last week. And our 8U North and South team, they're not doing so well this year so far, but these are new teams. The 8U North team is a very new team, so we got to give these guys a chance to catch up. And our 8U South, even though they did have 2 victories, they kind of lost it last week. So, we just want to keep them pumped up. Guys, keep going. And perhaps we're going to get some wins behind us. Our 9U North team was rained out, so they didn't get a chance to play last week. Hopefully, they'll get it done this week. And our 9U South, they had a abbreviated game. They played a 9-inning game, which is something in which they don't usually do. They did play all 9 innings, and they played to a 12-12 tie. Now, that's significant in that, again, they don't play 9 innings. And 2, they were playing against some guys that, that were running it up on them a little bit. You know, we weren't kind of prepared for that, but going into it helped prepare us for the tournament that we're going to go into, the Throgs Neck tournament tomorrow. So, you know, maybe the guys will take some of the things in which they endured last week and take it to the other guys this week. You know what I'm saying? All right, so our 10U North team, they lost their first game, and then they got rained out in the second game. So, you know, there's no scores really there to report, and so on. So let's move on to our 10U South. Our 10U South, they split. Now, this is a crazy one. They lost the first game 11-4. Don't know what happened with the guys that day, but they lost 11-4, and somehow or another they must have went back in between the game, and the coach must have said something to them because they came back and they won 25-3. We should have had 25 in the first game, but they lost the first game 11-4, and then beat them up 25-3. So the Bats woke up, the defense played better, and hey, look, they got that win. So they split their week last week, the 10U South. Our 11U team, they got rained out also. It was a nasty day, nasty Saturday last Saturday. It started off pretty good, and all of a sudden when the rain came down, the skies opened up, and that was it. That's all she wrote. In fact, we had some people out there selling canoes like people sell umbrellas. People were paddling on home. So, you know, that's what happened with our last Saturday. Anyway, moving on to the big boys, our last of 3 teams. These are the big dogs. Again, the big boys. They swing heavy lumber. Some of them swing lumber anyway. And our 13U North team won both their games. The first game they won 4-3, nail biter, close game. Okay, but they eked it out. And then in the second game they won 7-3, so they expanded, or they added more runs, and they kept their opponent at 3 runs. So, you know, 4-3 win, 7-3 win, brought it home, did their thing. Our 13U South team also did the same thing. They won 14-8 in the first game, and then the second game they won 5-3. So our 13U squad's getting it done the way they're supposed to do. And then let's bring it home with Anthony DeLillo. I have to keep saying his name because these are the big guys. Nothing but lumber, nothing but big, heavy wooden bats these guys swing. And these are our Yorkville's biggest eagles. These are our bald eagles, I would say. And they did their thing. They came off some impressive wins last week. And for this week, they lost their first game. Okay, nail biter, 2-0. That's okay. You know, because a 2-0 loss, even though we want to win every game, but you know they played really good. They just went up against somebody that maybe the pitching was a little better. Who knows that day? And then the second game they won 6-1. 6-1 was the second game, and then they tied in their third game 3-3. Okay, so they 6-1 win, and then they tied 3-3, and then they had to get it together because something they must have saw within those 3 games, and they said, hey, let's bring this back home. And in the fourth and final game, they won 15-4. 15-4 win for our 14U Eagles. And you know, Anthony DeLillo is doing his thing. He's doing everything. He's doing everything right. You know, it's not easy when you're coaching older guys, when you watch them grow up and everything, and everything changes. Kind of, you know, they change from longer distances. They transition from metal to wood bats. And, you know, it's just a bigger game. And Anthony's got them on a grandiose scale, and they're doing big things. So keep up the good work, our 14U team. And our 13U teams, keep up the good work in all of our teams. You know, all of the Yorkville Eagles, you know, when we're Eagles, we fly higher than everybody else. And we grab people by the talents, and we shake them up, and we do things that are necessary to bring about a good program. And that's what we have here. When we return, we're going to talk to some of Brad Shaw's team, the 12U team. Remember, they won both their games last week, and boy, did they win. So we're going to talk to Brad Shaw's team, a couple of guys from Brad Shaw's team. We have Chris Newman, Chris Ling, and Matt Shaw all hit home runs. We had some no-hitters. No, not a no-hitter. We had some shutouts. We had some perfect games into fourth innings and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about that. Bradshaw is going to stop by and talk to us for a minute. And, you know, you're going to love this stuff. So stick around, Yorkville. We'll be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this edition of Yorkville Sports. You're in the Eagles' Nest, and we're here with two of the 12U pitching stars from last week. We have Patrick Carey, and we have Justin Chamorro. And you know what? These guys did something that, hey, not too many pitchers, even in the big leagues, do. We're going to start with Justin. Justin, you pitched a complete game, didn't you?
Yeah, I tried to be as efficient as I could and try to throw first pitch strikes and keep the batters off balance. And I try to keep them guessing. So that was a really big help, and my defense was really good. Without my defense, I don't think I would pitch a one-hitter like I did. So I really thank my defense and my offense because in that game there were 3 home runs hit, and without those insurance runs, I don't think that game would have been as much as we expected.
Okay. Well, anyway, you pitched 73 pitches. That comes up to 12 pitches an inning. So you must have been mowing them down. What was your best pitch?
My best pitch really was a 4-seam fastball because it was fast and I had a lot of control on it, and it also had a little bit of movement, like it was dipping down, and the batters was just plainly missing. That's it.
Okay, so what was the pitch that they did hit? Do you remember?
I mean, the pitch they hit was my 2-seamer, which got too much of the plate than I expected, but it's part of the game,
Okay. Patrick, come a little closer over here. So, Patrick, let me see. You pitched 4 shutout innings. 4 no-hit innings. They didn't even get the bat on the ball until, like, the 5th inning. So what do you contribute that to? What was your best pitch?
The 4-seam fastball, just like Justin. They weren't catching up to it, and so you just throw it every time. They never caught up to it.
Right. Well, you did something that's you threw even less pitches. You threw 41 pitches total. So how do you contribute your control of the ball that day? To throw only 41 pitches, you must have had something in there. Did you have some stickum on your hand or something?
Well, each week you just try to go out, throw the best game that you can, and I guess this week it was just better than normal. But my teammates helped me out a lot. We got ahead early, and we ended up mercying them, so I didn't have to throw as many pitches as I would have had we played 6 innings. But, yeah, I had really good control on my fastball, really good defense, and all that helped me out a lot.
All right, so tell me, you guys, are you the 1-2, like the 2-headed monster for the team?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. So you usually start the first game, and then you usually clean it up, Justin, in the second?
Yes, it depends on how Coach Brad wants it, Sometimes he switches it up, and I start the first game, and Pat starts the second, It's all in the coaching strategy.
Well, good coaching is not always easy. Coach Brad has been around for a while. So how many years have you been with the team?
I think this is my 7th or 8th season on the team.
With Coach Brad?
Yeah, with Coach Brad every year. We've had a couple different assistant coaches, but Coach Brad's been there through all of them.
Consistency is always good. And what about you, Justin?
I've been on the team for three consecutive seasons. 3 seasons. I came back this season, and now I'm performing for the team and for Coach Brad.
All right. Well, there you have it, Yorkville. This is Patrick and Justin, 12U. These guys pitched lights out ball over the weekend. They have a tournament coming up, so we wish them nothing but success in the tournament coming up. And guys, you did what you did last week. We're Eagles, and we know what we do. We just fly down on people, and we do everything that we can to shut you out, stomp you out. When we return, we're going to catch up with some hitters when we return to Yorkville.
2-0. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the nest, the Eagles' nest. And you know, we're here with two of the hitting stars for the 12U team. And I have to tell you, I mean, the first come easy. They don't always come hard. But I have to tell you, when practice, the way these guys have been practicing, I'm not surprised that they did what they did. We have Matt Shaw over here, and we have Chris Ling. And these guys sent frozen ropes over the wall this weekend. So, Matt, tell me, your first home run, how did it feel?
It felt really awesome. I mean, just like getting up there, swinging the bat, and seeing the ball go over the fence was just like an amazing feeling. And of course, like running around the bases in a trot, not even having to worry about getting out, is just an awesome feeling.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and what about you, Chris? This was your first bona fide home run over the wall. You're the littlest guy in the team. I mean, how did you do that? I mean, tell me, what did it feel like getting around there?
Felt the best.
I mean, it just felt the best. I mean, how did it feel when you were turning third base and you saw your teammates and your coach going crazy? How did it feel for you?
I don't know. It's the best.
Just the best. So now tell me another thing, right? You've been in the gym. You guys have been working really, really hard every week. You've been swinging the bats a lot better. You guys are a lot older now. So what do you contribute to that extra power and that strength?
Well, my coaches, of course, have been helping me out a lot during like these past few weeks and over the summer and last season. We're working so hard on like swinging and more importantly, just like getting my hands through the zone, hand path, of course, John Rodriguez, like most importantly, and just like powering through the swing and just all in general, my coaches helped me a lot.
Chris, what about you?
Oh, swing. And hit the ball. Ball goes far.
You just hit the ball. I see the ball. I hit the ball. That's it. And that's it for us, Yorkville, right now. These guys have got to get back. They've got to get in there and continue their training and so on and so forth. They have a tournament this weekend. So, you know, maybe we'll come home with a couple of more home runs. You know, I see another guy over here, Daniel Pramberger. Guys, get out of here. I want to bring Daniel in. Get out of here. Get out of here. Come on in here, Dan. How you doing? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, he says. Daniel, you know what? You didn't get a home run. You missed it, from what I understand, by about 3.5 feet. How did that feel, slapping that double all the way down to the wall?
Amazing. Yeah, it felt great coming off the bat.
All right, so now you've been hitting the ball a lot better lately. What do you contribute that to?
Working with John, not turning my hands, just swinging through.
All right, so, you know, practice is perfect. Now, you have a tough job coming up this weekend. You're going into a tournament, and this is an early tournament for you guys. So, what are your expectations for the team? I know your team started off a little slow. You started off 0-2. You didn't get a win in the first week, but last week you got 2 wins. So, what do you think is going to happen now?
Oh, if we take the confidence from last game and we use it in the tournament, we'll do good. We'll do great.
You'll do great?
Yeah.
Okay, we're looking for great things from these guys. This is Daniel Pramberger, and Daniel's been working hard, just like the rest of the team, and, you know, they're getting ready to get in the cage, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Coach Brad. You know, he's always busy. He's always doing things trying to get these guys prepared, so we're hoping that he's going to give us a couple of minutes. So, Daniel, thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back, and this is Brad Shaw. You know, he's the coach of the 12U team. I mean, they did an amazing job over the weekend, and, you know, no one can explain it better than the coach, and because he's there with them every day, working with them every weekend. He's a friend to the program. You see him all the time. Coach, how you doing?
We're doing really well right now.
Okay. I know you started off the season on a down. You lost both your games, but you must have saw something in that first 2 games, even though you lost. What did you see?
Well, I mean, it's not just about what I had seen. It was, you know, coming out of the summer, We played a team that was a tournament team, so they were in midseason form, and we were just coming into our first games. So although we did well and put points on the board, these guys were, the other team, they were running all over us. We weren't. It's hard to say we weren't prepared, but in the fall season, practices are scarce. In the beginning, it's not like the spring season where we have 3 months of practice. So we literally came out of the summer and went into our first games of the season. So I think we needed to, shake the rust off the pipes, and we did it the next week.
All right. So last week, you guys took 2. You had a whole lot of successes and milestones. You had no hitters going into certain innings. You've had complete games and shutouts and home runs. I mean, this is a lot. I can't absorb all of this. I had some of you guys in earlier, but now tell me from a coach's perspective, take me through both of those games.
Well, a quick thing. The 2 biggest kudos obviously have to go to my 2 pitchers, Patrick Carey and Justin Chamorro. They couldn't have thrown any better. Patrick threw a no-hitter in 4 innings, and we mercied the team. He was unbelievably economical with his pitches. He only threw 41 pitches, so he's averaging 10 pitches an inning, which is unbelievable. I said no-hitter. Our guys came through with lots of hits. Justin in game 2 was just as economical. We didn't mercy the team on this one. So Justin pitched a complete game. He threw 73 pitches, which is average of 12 pitches an inning, which is unbelievable. And he only threw a 1-hitter. So you got to give credit where credit is due first. Our pitchers really kept those guys off the board and let our offense really come and take it away.
Where did you get the 3 home runs, though? Did they come all in one game?
You know what? Yeah, I think they all did come in one game. Obviously Matt Shaw, happens to be my son, hit the first one, and it was the first home run that our team has ever hit as a out of the park home run. We've hit gap shots that have gone, you get it in the middle and it rolls for 3 days because there's no fence. We've had those type of home runs, but we've never had a trot around the bases home run. And not just to say Matt, I've got to give to the other 2 guys, Chris Ling and Chris Newman. I mean, we hit 3 shots out of the park
in the same game.
I believe it was in the same game, and it was an unbelievable feeling. The first one, obviously, it was the first home run we had ever hit like that, and it was my son, so my emotions were a little on the rise. Then Chris Newman comes up, and he belts a shot opposite field. I swear it didn't go up higher than 5 feet the entire way and went over the fence.
That's a frozen rope.
That's a frozen rope. I mean, that was an opposite field blast. And then Chris Ling hit a rocket line drive that did that beautiful curve that comes back down, and it went out of the park. And, I couldn't be more proud. They come in here, they practice. We've been playing together a long time. They've grown tremendously. I mean, each kid on my team has probably gone 2 or 3 inches. So their swings are a little bit longer. Their strides are a little bit longer. They're stronger, and we're seeing that in our hitting. As a matter of fact, another nice note, every kid on the team hit the ball, got a clean hit this weekend's game, which doesn't always happen. No offers at all this weekend. So really proud of the guys. Our defense, I mean, I can't say too much about it because with only 1 hit in the game,
they didn't have to do much, but to sit there, eating bonbons out there in the outfield.
Which is actually a harder thing because when the ball is hit, if you're sitting in the field for 3-4 innings without a hit and then all of a sudden the ball's hit to you, it's kind of a little, jarring. But we handled it well. They put the ball in play. Our outfield played great. As a matter of fact, we had an unbelievable play. It ended up being a foul ball. But Will Bumpy, our right fielder, was playing. I had him playing a little closer to center field, right center. And a guy hit a sky shot, and it sailed left, and Will ran this thing down and made the catch. I mean, our guys weren't letting anything go by. Foul balls, fair balls, anything. They played, an exquisite 2 games of baseball. It was fun to watch. It was exciting. And the best part about it, it's a perfect way to lead us going into a tournament with unbelievably built-up confidence right now. So we're excited about the weekend.
Okay, and that's Coach Brad Shaw, you know, and he's talking about his team, the 12U team. They're doing amazing things. As I said, the boys have grown exponentially over the years, and I've watched them grow from like little ducks to big ducks. I don't know what we would call them. They're not even ducks because we're eagles, and they're growing into big eagles right now. And you know what? As what I always say, when we're eagles, we fly higher than everybody else, and we grab teams by the talents, and we shake things around, and we shake them up, and we do all the things necessary to bring about a good program here. And what I want you parents to do, because, you know, we can't always be out there with you, and he's got to coach the team. I need to see pictures. We need to see pictures from you, any kind of videos that you have for all the teams. Send them in. Send them in. We want to see what our boys are doing. Send them send them to me at joe@yyaa.org so I can put them up on the report. We want to see the guys, right?
Want to see them.
All right, so you know, that's it for right now. We're going to come back to give you the wrap-up a little later. But this is Coach Brad Shaw, and I'm Joe, and we're out of here.
Peace.
So there you have it, Yorkville. That's the report for week 2. We'll be back with week 3. You know, the guys are going to Throsneck to play in the Throsneck tournament. I'm not quite sure if all the teams are going out to Throsneck. That's the buzzer. Some of the guys are going to be coming out and switching over here at the Yorkville Baseball Academy. So we'll be back next week, and we're going to give you all the rundowns and tell you how the boys did. And I'm sure they're all going to do well again, because we're Eagles, and you know what Eagles do. So for Yorkville Sports, I'm your host, Joe Patrick, and we'll see you next week.